Hello and welcome to Las Vegas. My name is Nico Pajadillo. It's great to have your company. Well, this weekend marks the showpiece event for the UFC calendar. It is International Fight Week and the Aussies have taken over T-Mobile Arena. For the first time in Australian TV history, we'll be broadcasting from the iconic Las Vegas Strip aboard the Fight Week on Fox Sports Bus. And joining us aboard will be some of the best UFC fighters on the planet. Former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker, the best MMA fighter Australia has ever produced, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. This is International Fight Week. It's UFC 290. Let's get into it.
I saw something in Alexander Volkanovski. Something different about this guy. Even in the toughest circumstances, this guy never gives up on himself. It's almost an underdog spirit that he should not really have because he's not an underdog to anyone.
He's an incredible fighter. He's the champion for a reason. He's the greatest featherweight that we've ever seen. And to me, I think of the pound-for-pound #1 fighter on the planet. And that might be controversial because he did lose to Islam.
Even in defeat, I feel like his legend grew even bigger. I did not see that fight playing out the way that it did. It was stupid of me to think that anyone could just dominate Volkanovski because no one dominates Volkanovski.
The mind is the most powerful weapon that we all have. But the mind and the confidence of Volkanovski really is next level.
For all the great things I have said about him, I believe that stylistically he may have his biggest challenge ahead of him today because Yair Rodriguez looked renewed.
He's very unpredictable. That's dangerous. Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. This is going to be such an entertaining fight, and I can't wait to see it.
It is great to have your company on Fight Week and great to have the company of these two gentlemen joining me right now ahead of UFC 290. Alexander the Great Volkanovski, thank you for coming in. Please, Dan Hooker, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming. Now, gents, stand over there if you could, next to Alexander. Now, gents,
how about this,
welcome to Las Vegas. How do you feel?
I feel really good. How good's this?
Yeah, it's tremendous, right?
Oh, yeah, it's very good.
You might have to hold on, Dan.
We're going down the strip.
We're absolutely going down the strip. Now, Alex, we'll begin with you. You fought in Las Vegas many times, but is it fair to say that this is the first time you arrive as a fan favorite? I mean, how nice is it to finally receive the respect that you so deserve from these American fans?
Well, mate, I think it's going to be full of Mexican fans in there, to be quite honest. So
Maybe.
I'm expecting to get booed, but it's all good. Like I said, I'll be motivated if they cheer for me or boo for me. So whatever it is, I'm going to make it work.
Dan, it's great to see you. You've had a bit of an injury layoff recently. We haven't seen you, in fact, since October. How was the road to recovery, and how are you feeling ahead of this weekend's fight against Jalen Turner?
Yeah, broken hand. You take a couple of days off. You train with the cast on. It's not the end of the world. You can't stop training every time you get injured. So, yeah, I've been able to stay fit. It's not like I've been sitting around on a couch for a couple of months. I've been training for Jalen Turner for 6 months, so I'm just excited to finally get out there and finally get my hands on him.
Gotta say, it's a bit funny. It's as if we've got Slim Shady and Nelly right here. You've got the Band-Aid and then the bleach hair. What's the story behind that?
I mean, well, it is getting hot in here. Damn, you got that Vegas weather, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Nah, just a little scratch, just looking after it, making sure, don't ruin this pretty face.
Yeah. Dan, the reason for the blonde hair?
Just felt like it. It's the beauty of being an adult, too.
Absolutely. It's the Charles Oliveira era.
Something like that.
Alex, when people ask me about Alex Volkanovski, I often say, yes, he is the long-time featherweight champion. He is the pound-for-pound #1, an incredible fighter, but he's also the type of dude that you'd see at your local Woolies and boardies and thongs going, hey, how's it going, mate? You know, just an Aussie larrikin, a family man. Tell me, what is it like for that kid from Windang to be here, heading down the strip under the bright lights of Las Vegas, having your face on billboards, fans screaming out? What's that like? You're a dad from the Gong.
Mate, it's incredible. I still am that kid from, where'd you say, Windang, really, the Illawarra, Wollongong.
Yeah.
I'm still that guy. I literally am, but I'm just in, like you said, I'm just amongst all this, just going about my business. But it's pretty cool. There it is up there. I don't know if you can see. Look at that.
What about that, huh?
It doesn't get much bigger than that, right? Like, that's pretty cool, but it is pretty surreal. You go there and you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, it's pretty insane, to be quite honest.
What's been the sentiment from fans, friends, family back home?
Oh, man, everything, it's unreal. You obviously got the footage that we got here, getting the photos, taking it home, and they're like, wow, how good is that? So it's good. Everyone's buzzing back home. So can't wait to put on a show this weekend.
So fans giving you the respect and credit. It's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's been awesome. Obviously, got tooted.
Yeah.
But it is. It really is incredible. Good feeling. Probably took a long time to get here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Obviously, but I mean, all good.
Yeah. And Dan, just for you, this fight against Jalen Turner, you've been preparing for this guy for a very long time. Is it fair to say you're sick and tired of preparing for this same bloke?
Oh, I'm so sick and tired of seeing his face and watching film and breaking him down. He's the nicest guy, but it's just it's been on replay for a while now. I think, it's just one of those ones. 6 months of staring at a bloke is a bit longer than I would like to.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. I mean, but you've seen the hard work and all the trials and tribulations that your teammate here has had to go through. How satisfying is it to see him finally receive that respect and that adoration from the fans that he's probably deserved from day one, to be honest?
Oh, it's just one of those things that's always going to happen. You keep winning and you keep putting on the performances like he's been putting on. Everything else just falls into place. It comes down to winning fights. Like that's what gets people being nice to you in this sport.
Dan, Eugene Berman, your coach, said that occasionally he has to pull some of his fighters in line when they can get maybe a bit over the top. But he said he's never had to do that with Alexander Volkanovski. He's managed to keep that same energy from day one. Do you echo those sentiments?
Oh, man, is Eugene yelled at you?
Is it? Nah,
Has
not
he?
yelled. Nah, not yelled. I don't think so, no.
Nah, I don't think Volk doesn't ever get told off.
Okay.
It's not like the rest of us.
Yeah. You've never gotten carried away with it, Volk?
Hey?
You've never gotten carried away with it?
Oh, nah, not at all. It depends what he means. But yeah, no, it's all good. When I do decide to carry on with it, it's usually on the drink or something. He's okay with that, and that's usually after the fight, so it's all right.
Yeah,
the right timing to carry on.
We get a 24-hour window after the fight.
Right,
where,
gotcha.
where we don't
Unless
get...
it's Brian Ortega in the lead up to the fight, then you can get a bit,
On the lead up to?
Yeah, in the lead up to the fight. Got a bit intense.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all good. Like, I mean, that's all a part of it anyway. But yeah, and I think it's what he means. I think what we just talked about before. I'm that same guy that I was.
Yeah.
10 years ago. That normal bloke from a small town. Like, I'm still that guy. I think that's sort of what he means as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, give me a kick up the ass and be like, all right, come on, man, you got work to do. Let's giddy up. I'm always there, always ready.
Do you guys enjoy coming out to fight internationally, or you prefer to fight from home?
No, like I got into the sport to travel, man. Like that's what we get to do. It's what we get to do as fighters. You know what I mean? Like look around. I've travelled most of the globe with the sport, and that's something that I truly appreciate. So I know I know it's a bit more difficult getting on the plane and getting on the other side of the world, but it's worth it for the memories. These memories with everyone will last a lifetime.
These are the good old days, as they say. Alex, what about you?
Oh, mate, look where we're at. We're driving through the strip. This is we're doing what you could say we're doing media, but we're here soaking up this beautiful hot weather. And look at the scenes, you know what I mean? It's pretty incredible. Like not many places in the world you could probably do stuff like this. So very lucky to be able to travel and do what we love.
I did mention you're a dad from the Gong. You said you're the same kid from Windang. Is there ever a moment that you do need to pinch yourself during fight week?
No, not really. I sort of, a lot of times it's me just sort of pinching myself. I don't know if this is the opposite way of doing it. I'm pinching myself to be like, hey, soak it up, appreciate what's happening, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty crazy because I just go about my business every day like it is a normal day, like it was 10 years ago, as I said. So it's sort of sometimes I, again, should be embracing and really, really appreciating what we're able to do.
Dan, what about yourself? Do you find yourself in periods of self-reflection like that?
It's not really time for it. It's time right now. It's time to live in the moment, like especially as the fight draws near, like that thought process goes right down. Because on fight night, you have to be so sharp and you have to be so in the moment for that 15 minutes, for that 25 minutes. So you can't stand in the octagon and go like, man, in 20 years, because you probably get flatline.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's time to just live in the moment and enjoy it. Like, it's incredible.
Alex, how do you maintain that hunger? You've been featherweight champion for a very long time now.
Look,
Look at what you've achieved. I mean, what gets you up in the morning?
I mean, look, I don't need anything really to get me up in the morning. That's something that I will say. I don't need to be motivated to get up in the morning and do work. You know, I'm disciplined. I'm going to do it anyway. But obviously, my family, my friends are supporting. I'm not selfish. I do this for. It's much bigger than me. We've got the teams, training partners. Yeah, like I said, my family, friends supporting me. And it's all for them as well. There's a lot of people backing me and want me to do well, especially my family. I want to look after them for the rest of my life, and the best way of doing that is leaving a legacy behind that they can live off as well as me for the rest of my life, or the rest of their lives.
Was there a moment, Dan, in your career where you were like, okay, this is really getting big now? This is kind of the moment where you've realised that that's what's happening?
Oh, it's been pretty wild from when I first got into the, from when I first started fighting, and like, no one from New Zealand could even make a living off of this. Like, no, if I was sitting there as a 18, 19-year-old and go, you know what, I want to be a professional mixed martial artist. It's like, oh, well, who's doing that? No one, you know what I mean? So to see where we are now, to see the UFC brought to New Zealand shores, to now see, you know, Australian, New Zealand UFC world champions, like, it's, it blows my mind.
Absolutely. Alex, was there a moment for you where you realised that, okay, I'm actually a big deal now?
Yeah, man, like, you get a lot of their moments. But, I mean, this week has been incredible. Obviously, International Fight Week, a massive week, you know, and to be able to headline it is, you know, it's an honour and it's a privilege, and I'm very lucky to be in the position I am. So I just need to capitalise it on it all, you know what I mean? So I'm here. We're all here, you know, we want to put on a show. Like, we talk about the Australian, New Zealand fighters going out there and doing work, and then get all the wins, and then I finish with a bang, and then we can celebrate and really capitalise on a massive week here.
Well, you're almost the king of International Fight Week because you co-headlined last year and you're headlining again this year. It might be an annual thing for you to make the pilgrimage every July.
Oh, mate, well, yeah, we do love it over here, so I'm happy to do the trip every year, and I want to be active, so mid-year's perfect, you know what I mean? Early in the year, mid-year, and later in the year, the schedule, it definitely fits my schedule.
Well, let's talk about this weekend then, UFC 290. Dan, your opponent, Jalen Turner, you've described this fight as a tipping point in your career. Are you going into this fight as though it is all or nothing for you?
Oh, it's all or nothing every single time, baby. Like, that's just the mentality you need to build yourself towards before you go on the edge. If you go into a fight holding any chips back, or oh man, I'll save this for the next one, then you've already lost. Like, every single fight you need to approach like it's your last fight.
And Alex, Yair Rodriguez is one of the most inventive strikers the UFC has ever seen. Like, some of the tricks in his tool bag are so dangerous. My question to you is, how do you expect the unexpected against a guy like Yair Rodriguez?
Exactly. That's why it is a difficult. That's why he's so dangerous. That's why I take him very seriously. But I mean, he is very unpredictable and very dangerous, especially when you let him do his thing. So he's going to be dangerous even with my game plan, but I look forward to really slowing him right down, taking away a lot of his main tools away from him, and then capitalise on opportunities that he gives me.
Okay. Well, Dan, Jalen Turner is a man who's disposed of a number of Aussies and Kiwis, you know, Brad Riddell, Jamie Malarkey, Josh Kalibau, to name a few. Does that give you a bit of any extra motivation heading into this one?
Oh, we'll get it back for the boys.
I mean, does it?
Like, he's like, even though he's got wins over a few of the boys, he's like super respectful.
Yeah.
He's a really humble fighter. Like, he's also said that he doesn't want to fight us from this side of the world anymore. He wants to come down and actually train with us after this. So I can definitely understand like that level of respect. This is a professional sport to us. There's no animosity there, but that definitely doesn't change once we start swinging hammers. I'm sure we're just trying to put each other's lights out.
Okay, well, if I could just get your opinions on each other's fights then. What's your opinion, Dan, on Yair Rodriguez and how he fares against your teammate on the weekend?
He's good. But once Volk gets a hold of him, he smashes him, mate. He balls him, gets all over him. That's my prediction.
All right, then what's your prediction for your own fight then? How are you going to get it done over the Tarantula?
Oh, well, that's a bit of a...
a bit of a surprise?
If I knew I'd be a multi-millionaire. Let me just say that.
Sure.
I'll be putting a few bets on myself if I knew how I was going to finish.
Yeah. Can I ask, what were your thoughts on his fight against Mateusz Gamrot? Do you think he won that?
I thought it was close. I thought if we actually read the rule book, you know, the control time did go down to Gamrot after, you know, Jalen closed the distance a little bit too much against him. But yeah, his striking was definitely on display. He was able to drop Gamrot a few times. But I think Gamrot definitely deserves respect for that, especially only taking it on a 2-3 weeks notice.
Well, Alex, as we pass by Caesar's Palace and the Bellagio fountain behind us, you're getting some love from the fans calling out.
How are you? It's good. I agree,
a bit of stick to Islam Makhachev. Great to see the support from the fans from all over the world, really. I guess it's just testament to how big an international star you have become, moments like that.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool to see, you know what I mean? Like, again, I should just embrace it and really appreciate it. Well, I do appreciate it, but again, I'll sit there like, hey, how are you? And then get back to business. But, I mean, it means you've made it, right? Like, so it's an awesome position to be in. You know, it's funny, like you sit there earlier in your career, you want to be in this position.
Yeah.
You know, you want people to stop for photos, you want to be famous, you want the money and all that. So that's why I really do appreciate it, and I try and give as much time to the fans as I can, because it'll be pretty selfish of me to you know, not, I don't have time for this, especially when it wasn't that long ago where I was like wishing I was in that position.
You gotcha. So so that's something that you did wish when you were younger, that
of
you know,
course, you
had that stardom, you wanted to be a star.
Well, I mean, it's not. I guess it's not stardom, but I wanted to make it, and make it means successful. I wanted to be successful, and what comes with that, you know, obviously all that type of stuff. You know, all that stuff will come with it, and again, I think it would be pretty bad if I didn't try and appreciate it once it was here.
So it doesn't become cumbersome at all, it doesn't become a bit annoying, the fact that you are such a big star now and that all over the world, Europe, the Middle East, Asia, America, you're getting recognised.
I mean, like, no, it's not too much. Obviously, it can get busy, but I mean, at the same time, I appreciate it. It can get overwhelming, like you get busy days, and because I will try and stop and have time for as many of them as I can, it can get very busy, but I mean, at the same time, I appreciate it.
Understandable. To get your opinion on your teammate's fight this weekend against the Tarantula, will he buck the trend of Aussies and Kiwis?
Mate, look, I was even there, it was for the Max Holloway fight as well. I did some training there, and that would have been before he injured the hand. And, mate, I couldn't, but like, I think it was the best I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
And he looked great, and I was like, oh man, like he's hit a whole nother level. I don't know what it was. Last time I was there watching him spar as well, he's just hit a whole nother level. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Two rangy fighters, it's going to be good, but obviously I'm backing Dan Hooker to go out there and do his thing. I don't think Jalen's ever faced a long rangy guy like Dan.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's got the wrestling and grappling, which not many people get to see, which is actually very incredible. So he's got a lot of tools. I don't know where he's going. He kept that on the hush for us just then. So we'll see what happens. But I'm backing Dan all the way.
The fight that everyone talked about, that fan just there mentioned. Bit of love as well. All over the shop, Volk. They love you everywhere you go. The fight that everyone talks about is the Islam Makhachev fight in Perth back in February. Very close decision. You aim to become champ. Is that a rematch that you want soon?
Yeah, it's definitely a rematch that I want, and yeah, we will get it. But right now, I've got to focus on Yair Rodriguez. But yeah, definitely, it has to happen. You know what I mean? I think it's a massive fight, and it's something that I want. You know, I want that rematch more than I want that lightweight belt.
Really?
So yeah, that's how I'm looking at this. I want that rematch, and
so it's about Islam. It's not about being double champ.
I mean, yeah, well, I'll get that belt as well, right? But
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
So even if he didn't have the belt, I'd still want that rematch.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll get that belt, but I want that rematch as well.
Gotcha.
So that's obviously another goal of mine, is what I'm saying.
In October?
So even if he didn't have the belt right now, a goal of mine would be to get that lightweight belt and to beat Islam.
In October in Abu Dhabi?
Oh, mate, wherever it is. Yeah, I'd love that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just on your Yair Rodriguez fight this weekend, how are you going to beat him and how are you going to defend your featherweight title?
I mean, I think I'm going to be too much for him. I really do. Again, he's very dangerous. He's why he's so dangerous, being unpredictable. He goes for it. Is why he can leave openings. Whether I catch him before that or him doing some crazy stuff, I could grab a hold of him, take him on the ground and pound. You know, TKO, submission. I think I'm just, like I said, I'm too strong for these featherweights.
gents, I've got to thank you so much for your time on the Fox Sports bus, and the fans are still loving you. We appreciate your time, and all the best this weekend.
That wasn't staged, by the way. That wasn't staged, all right?
That's his family and friends there, yeah.
It wasn't staged.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Robert Whittaker, we've just passed at the T-Mobile Arena, the home of the UFC here in Las Vegas. I realise you actually haven't fought here since the first Yoel Romero fight. How does it feel to be back in Sin City?
Yeah, you mentioned that, and it's surprising that you say that because it feels like I have fought here sooner than that. Actually, no, I have. I fought at the
Apex, yeah.
I have.
But not at T-Mobile.
Not at T-Mobile. But yeah, I guess I'm stoked. Vegas has become like a home away from home for me. I've been here so many times, got a lot of friends here. And yeah, I look forward to getting to work on the weekend.
Rob, it's often been stated that you are a kid from Housing Commission in southwest Sydney. When you see your name up in lights, when you drive down Las Vegas, Nevada, well, basically the strip down here, what does that feel like for you?
You know, it's one of those things I don't think about too much. And then when I reflect on it, I've come so far, mate.
Yeah.
And then me and my wife sit down sometimes and we reflect on everything we've done and how far we've come. And yeah, it really is unbelievable sometimes. I've got to snap, just remind myself where I came from, because it's just, the journey has been so long. It's been so huge, and the achievements and leaps have just come by leaps and bounds, mate. I'm almost flabbergasted talking about it.
Was there a pinch me moment at all in your career where you were like, okay, I've made it and I am flabbergasted?
Mate, it's almost like that every day. Sometimes I just sit and wonder and think, like, man, like, things are so good. I'm just blessed to be here, blessed to have been able to do the things that I've done, and blessed to have, I guess, the skill set that I have to be able to, that people like watching what I do. It doesn't leave me in jail.
Now, we mentioned that Yoel Romero fight earlier. You actually had two incredible wars against Yoel. You told me that you're preparing for Dricus du Plessis this weekend as if it is that second Romero fight, which was an almighty battle.
Yeah.
Why are you preparing, or why have you prepared in that fashion? Do you see similarities between the two, or would you have prepared that way regardless of who the opponent was?
Well, because, mate, he's a guy with nothing to lose. Yeah. He's a guy that everyone has just, washed up and think doesn't have a chance in hell against me. And the guy's obviously got skills, and he's talented enough to get to the fifth ranked position in the ladder. Yeah. He's a tough dude. He's got no quit in him. So me and my coaches, we sit down and we go, how does he beat me? Like, what's his best chance for success? And that's making it a dogfight, making it an absolute dogfight, not giving me the space to be able to just organise myself, organise my thoughts. So that's what I've been doing for the last 3 months. I've been the dog in the fight, and I look forward to taking it to him.
Are you conscious of the fact that he may want to get a quick knockout against you?
Mate, I want to get a quick knockout against him. It's tricky though. It's not as easy, and I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty elusive. I'm a tricky man to pin down.
Rob, as we pass by the Bellagio Fountain and Caesar's Palace just beyond it, we were talking about how you were flabbergasted. Has there been sort of not a pinch me moment, but what sort of are you most proud of as you reflect on your career being here in Sin City?
Most proud of?
Yeah.
I guess I'm most proud of just sticking to my guns. Not changing, not letting the fame or fortune or anything else kind of change or impact how I hold myself. I've always stuck true to my virtues and values and who I am as a warrior, and that's never shifted.
Yeah.
And I guess I am most proud of that.
As we see some love from the fans being given, that's got to be
dudes.
That's got to be pretty surreal though. You're on the other side of the world and people are screaming your name. Yeah,
it is a surreal feeling to be recognised so far from home, and Vegas feels far from home. Because it's Vegas, it's Sin City, it is such a unique place, but it's not home.
Yeah.
So to be here and to get recognised and to have fans running about, it's a good feeling.
Whether it's Menai or the Strip, people know you.
Mate,
Did you always,
King of Menai lives in Vegas.
did you always want to be a star?
Nah, honestly, like I just wanted to be the best at fighting. I just wanted to be the best at it. I wanted to be something. I don't know if a star's the word I'd use, but I wanted to be something. I wanted to be
Success.
special. I wanted to be special.
Bobby Knuckles certainly is special. We can certainly see that in the octagon. Dana White has expressed his desire for the winner of this fight to fight Israel Adesanya in Sydney in 2 months. I mean, that's a really quick turnaround. Are you thinking of that in the back of your mind, and will you be hunting a quick finish because of that reason?
Nah, I'm up. Yeah, not at all. I'm going to be hunting the finish like every other fight.
Yeah.
Okay, like I try to finish all my opponents. It's not easy. It's not easy.
I know, yeah.
But so I'll just settle with the W. Okay. But honestly, anything past Dricus is just not a thing for me right now. My calendar only goes into the 8th, and I'll worry about everything past it. The fight.
Totally. We spoke about this a little bit with Alex, and how it seems to be a common theme amongst a lot of the Aussie fighters, being able to remain grounded and being able to remain humble and just, Volk is a family man, you're a family man. You haven't really let anything get to your head. How do you do that, and what's the reason for it?
I have a lot of good friends.
Yeah.
Like I have good people around me. I have good family, good support. They keep me grounded. They do. And but I guess I just reflect on what's important in life, and it's like, as well as like, how special do you think you are? Like, you're just a man like everybody else, and yeah, you're good at a particular thing, but that's no reason to act all high and mighty. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Like I want to be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not fussed about it all. I just want to. I know what's important to me, and I focus on what's important to me.
You said you always wanted to be special. How special is Robert Whittaker?
Mate, more special. I'm only just getting started. I want to be even more special.
Now, Rob, you told me that you're going to fight on this Sydney card no matter what. You really want to perform in front of your home fans, which you haven't done for a very long time. How much would that mean to you, to go out there and perform in front of your home fans who miss you so dearly?
Yeah, it'd mean the world to me. To be able to fight in my backyard would be unreal. I've only ever done it a handful of times, so I would love to be able to, close a show in my hometown. It would be unreal.
Do you remember who your last opponent was the last time you fought in Sydney?
I do, but I'm trying to remember his name. Clint Hester.
Correct. Do you remember how you won?
Yeah, TKO in the second.
Big knee.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was a good win. That was my first fight at middleweight.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That was when I thought you could eat 3 curries a day and still make weight.
Learned that lesson quickly?
I put on all this weight because I was like, I'm a middleweight now. It'll be fine. I ended up having to do like a huge cut still. Like, it was silly. Absolutely silly. And I remember and that was back when straight after I cut weight, I used to go straight to Hungry Jack's and just absolutely hammer myself and then spend the next 2 hours on the can.
What was your go-to Hungry Jack's order then?
It's always the same. It'll always be the same. The ultimate double whopper. Like, don't even come to me with anything else. Maybe an extra whopper on the side just to make sure I'm full.
No use.
Hey, boys. What do you even say?
Welcome to Vegas, he said.
Oh, is that what he said?
Loved everywhere you go, Robert. Now you struggle to make middleweight. I mean,
I don't struggle. Come on, mate.
Well,
Look at me. I'm like lean. I'm an elite athlete right now.
Fair enough. Is a move to light heavyweight something that you might entertain in the future?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
Like, there'd have to be a reason for it or a motive for it, because honestly, I don't find it hard to make middleweight.
Okay.
It takes, like, you have to attack it like a professional, and there is a system, and you have to have discipline to be able to do it, but I don't struggle at all. Like, okay. The weight cuts are pretty easy, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. How are you going to beat Dricus du Plessis this weekend then?
I think I'm too fast for him. I think I'm too fast. I think my output's going to be too much. I think I hit too hard, and I just don't think he'll be able to keep up for the whole 15 minutes. And Once he starts to slow down, once I start to inflict some damage, it's just going to get worse for him.
You said you didn't want to underestimate him. Why do you think so many of his previous opponents have?
It's hard to say. I don't understand the mentality of underestimating your opponent ever.
Yeah.
To be honest, like every guy in the UFC has a puncher's chance, especially if you show up on a bad night. You know, every dog has his day. So I think the way to minimise that is just to treat every fight like it's your last. That's just how I do it. And I go into my fights not expecting to see Sunday.
It's a great mentality to have. There's a great historic rivalry between the Saffers and the Aussies. Are you taking that into consideration heading into this weekend?
I'm not, but I will now.
Good to know. Make us proud. I mean, I think they are playing in the rugby union on that same day, so hopefully we can make it 2 from 2.
Mate, that's it. Give them double losses. Next time I come here, mate, I'm going to go on that with my wife and kids. I've never been to it. I've never done anything. I've always come here for work and I keep my head switched on, and I don't get distracted with other things. But, you know, for a place that I've come to so often, I should explore it a bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I guess
the family
COVID.
with you now?
No, I can't. It's too many of them. I'd have to either take them all or not at all.
Are you an adrenaline and heights junkie?
No, I'm not. I think I'm not afraid of heights, but I think I have a sensible fear of it.
Yeah. Well, New York has a roller coaster. Is that something you'd be keen on?
It's not. Like, me and my wife were going to do it years ago, and then when we were like, nah, screw this, and we bailed on it. But the roller coaster goes past my hotel window every day, and the more I see it, the more I want to go on it. I want to see what I've been missing out on, mate. Are
they screaming by going, Robert?
I've seen that roller coaster go by every 5 minutes since I got here, so it's grown on me. I've been starting to become hypnotised.
I mean, are you a Vegas guy? I mean, do you enjoy being around the festivities of, the shows and, the Cirque du Soleils and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, when I've been to a Cirque du Soleil show with my wife when I've been here. We've gone out before. We have done things here. Yeah. But I love Vegas. I love Vegas. Even though I don't drink anymore or gamble really, it's just there's so many shows, there's so much food, there's so much atmosphere.
Absolutely.
I think it's fun. I think it's a fun place to be.
Well, Robert Whittaker, you'll be gambling and putting it all on the line this weekend against Dricus du Plessis. We can't wait to see it. I spoke with Dricus du Plessis a little earlier, so here is our chat brought to you by Neds. Dricus du Plessis, thanks so much for your time on Fox Sports Australia, mate.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's been an incredible rise for you, former KSW champion, of course 2-division EFC champion as well, but you've really taken this promotion by storm. 5 wins, 4 finishes. How would you assess your time in the UFC so far?
Yeah, it's been a crazy ride from the debut, and then like for a year we couldn't fight. I had my first 2 fights for a year. I couldn't fight with COVID and all of that, and then all of a sudden everything opened back up and I could just start raking in fights and wins. It's been amazing to find my feet in the UFC, because that first couple of fights it was a little bit hard, because you're in this massive arena fighting in Vegas and finally getting your shot. So in the beginning it was almost everything happened so fast, and my performances could have been better, but then I started finding my feet in terms of the big lights and facing guys like Darren Till, facing Derek Brunson, and finding Robert Whittaker for #1 contender.
Yeah, well, just on Robert Whittaker, he is the former champion, a national sporting hero back home, and in fact his only 2 losses really in the last decade have been to the current champion. Why do you think you can beat Robert Whittaker?
Yeah, 100%. Robert Whittaker is an exceptional athlete and a fan favourite, and like you said, a sporting hero in Australia, and rightfully so. He deserves all of that credentials. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm coming in, and I'm one of the first contenders he's facing that hasn't been to the champion. When he fought Victory, when he fought Cannonier, when he fought those guys, they've all been, even a guy like Darren Till, they've been beaten, and Gastelum, they've all been beaten by the champion. So he was fighting not at all any washed up guys, not at all. He was just a guy to face, because they just know if you give a contender to Whittaker before the champion, he's going to beat them. So without Adesanya, he is the champion for the last decade. But he's been facing these guys that have been beaten by the champ. And it's, mentality-wise, these guys are already beaten, and they know Whittaker, the win is not going to get them the title shot. It's going to get them another fight towards. So, motivation-wise, that does affect some guys. Me, this is on my way up. This is my world title fight. I need to beat Whittaker to get that title shot. I haven't gotten the shot yet. So that's what makes me different than all the other contenders that he's faced.
Yeah, welcome back to UFC Fight Week on Fox. It's an absolute pleasure to be joined now by Jack Della Maddalena. Jack, thanks so much for your time on Fox Sports, mate.
Pleasure, thanks for having me.
Now, you fought in front of some big crowds, Singapore, Perth. But Jack, how does it feel right now to be in Las Vegas, International Fight Week, your first fight at the T-Mobile Arena?
Yeah, I'm stoked, here, the fight capital of the world. It's nice to be here. I fought here twice before, but just never with the crowd. I fought at the Apex, so it's nice to have a solid crowd this time around.
You getting recognised a little bit?
Not really. I sort of just been hanging low, waiting.
Trying to stay away.
Yeah.
How does it feel for, I guess, a young guy from Perth? You're from humble beginnings, to be here in the fight capital, to be in Sin City, to be surrounded by all the glitz and glamour of the fight capital.
Yeah, no, I love it. I've worked hard, put a lot of time in to martial arts, and it's cool. It was so cool to fight in front of Perth, hometown, but to fight in fight capital of the world, it's awesome, and I actually always thought I'd fight here. I had a feeling in front of a big crowd, so it's cool.
Was it something you always dreamed of?
Yeah, something I always dreamed of, and something I've seen so many big fights here, boxing fights, MMA fights, so I always thought it'd be a cool place to fight, a lot of history here.
Is there one specific memory of a big fight that you watched here where you said, damn, that's where I want to be?
A lot. There was a lot. Even like the Mayweather fights.
Yeah.
He really he was one of the man out here. He had a lot of fights, and just always wanted to come out here and do it myself.
What is it about Las Vegas that makes you want to fight here, that makes you want to be part of it all?
I think just history. A lot of big fights have happened here, and I want to be part of that.
This weekend, your opponent, Sean Brady, pulled out on late notice. In steps young Josiah Harrell. Now, this bloke is 7-0 in professional MMA. A lot of finishes. Very similar to you in many ways. I mean, how dangerous is it to be coming up against a guy who is so deadly first up in his first fight in the UFC?
Yeah, obviously, he's new in the UFC, so he'll be hungry. He's got everything to gain in this fight, and it's a big opportunity for him. So, I expect someone that's going to come at me with everything they have, and honestly, it could change his life, so I expect someone that's hungry and not looking past him. I expect a tough competition.
Yeah, absolutely, and you'd expect him to come into this fight expecting basically to... Well, you'd expect him to come into this fight thinking he's got nothing to lose, really, because if he loses, he's just lost to Jack Della Maddalena on debut. If he wins, though, he's straight into the rankings. So a guy like that's always going to be dangerous, right?
Yeah, 100%. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. He'll be, chomping at the bit to get at me, and I expect that, and I feel like I've got nothing to lose either. I'm a boy from Perth coming out to fight in Las Vegas. So I'm going to leave it all on the line as well. As
we drive past the incredible surroundings, the Las Vegas Strip, is it a bit surreal for you to be here?
Yeah, it is surreal. What a place. It's a lot different to Perth, believe it or not. But what a place, and so close to fighting. I can't wait.
I mean, the travel, do you mind that, or would you rather fight closer to home?
I don't mind the travel, It's obviously, the worst part about the travel is the flight and that part, but that's over before you know it. But I feel like I've got the best job in the world. Just fly around different places, bring my family with me this time, and get to throw down.
How are they enjoying it?
Yeah, they're loving it. It took Franco a couple of days to get over jet lag, but he's back now and having a great time.
Great to see you. Now, Jack, you are regarded as the most exciting young Australian prospect. I think because you've got your Volkanovskis, your Whittakers, your Tai Tuivasas at the top, and there's kind of a bit of a chasm, and then you've got sort of the younger guys coming through. You're the guy who's sort of taking that next step and climbing the rankings. Do you feel any extra pressure because of that?
Not really. I'm happy to take... that's what I've always wanted, a lot of attention through my skills. So I'm good to go. I don't feel any extra pressure. I feel fight night, it's much the same every time, you know.
Really?
Yeah, get in there and get the job done.
Do you ever get nervous?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like saying I'm not nervous would be a lie, you know. Definitely when it's fight day, it's a feeling that, it gets you a bit nervous, but it's like, that's what I do it for. I love that feeling, and just trying to stay calm in that feeling is the challenge.
What's the dream, Jack? What's the final goal?
Yeah, I just want to be remembered with a nice style and get a world championship.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A long-time welterweight champion?
Yeah, definitely. I want to get the belt and have a long reign.
Yeah. Who would you say you looked up to most in your ascent of the UFC?
Honestly, I've big fans. There's so many that I looked up to and liked their style. I think the first one that I really like, Anderson Silva, was pretty like a legend, and I loved his style, like a martial artist with like incredibly vicious striking. And that's what I like. So yeah, probably Anderson Silva was my first real favourite fighter.
Well, let's hope we see a bit of the Spider this weekend in your performance. Speaking of this weekend, how do you stay motivated against a guy who is a rookie coming in his first fight? Is it sort of hard to get out of bed for a fight that probably, with a guy who's a bit less experienced than you?
No, not at all. I'm a prize fighter, so I'm coming here to get the prize, and that's it. Like, I came all this way, and this is my job, and I love it. I love to go out there, perform, and I don't look past anyone. I don't underestimate anyone. I'm just in there to perform and get the prize.
Well, we can't wait to see you in action this weekend, and we really appreciate your time on Fight Week.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
As Jack steps away, we welcome in former middleweight champion.
Are you any good at your job?
I'd like to.
Are you
think
sure?
So.
Well, I bloody hope so.
You're the seasoned pro. You tell me.
But this is, I don't get much free time in Las Vegas. It's a very, very busy fight week for me. So
we've got you doing this.
Well, I mean, normally in Las Vegas, it's limousines, it's 5-star service. I'm on a double-decker bus with no top. It's like being back at school.
Yeah, but I mean, you're enjoying the view, are you not?
No, it's great, mate. I'm only messing with you. It's great. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very, very well. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Middleweight champion Michael Bisping. It is an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Michael, the rise of UFC in Australia for the past 5 years has been absolutely astronomical. Like, you look at the ascent of Robert Whittaker, Alex Volkanovski, Tai Tuivasa. These guys are household names back home. But what about here in the United States and internationally? How brightly do their stars shine?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously, I think, oh, bloody hell. I think out in the States, we all like our homegrown talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Tai Tuivasa, Volkanovski and Robert Whittaker, they're three of the biggest names in the sport generally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tai Tuivasa, what a character he is. I mean, how can you not love the guy? From the moment he walks out to an arena, he just fills it with energy, and the atmosphere is through the roof. The walkouts are sensational. His fights are incredible. So entertaining. Robert Whittaker, one of the best martial artists ever. One of the best dudes. So humble. And same with Volkanovski. I mean, he's the pound-for-pound king. So if people don't know who he is, then you're not a fan of mixed martial arts. So to answer your question, yeah, of course. Obviously, there are bigger deals in Australia because they're Australian, but out here, yeah, they're household names for sure.
Well, in many ways, Robert Whittaker sort of inspired this rise. I mean, he sort of kick-started it all. I know we've had Mark Hunt in the past, but he's the first Australian to touch UFC gold, and his ascent is something that you would have watched with very, very keen eyes. What are your memories of seeing Rob's ascent through the UFC?
No, Rob's incredible, not only as a fighter, but more importantly as a person, to be honest. I've always been a massive fan, more importantly of the person. But in terms of his ability and what he's done in his career, it's phenomenal. I mean, we know he won the Ultimate Fighter. He lost at welterweight because of the weight cuts and things like that. But once he went up to middleweight, I mean, it's incredible. Yeah. Some of the wars, some of the performances. That last fight with Izzy was incredible. The last fight he had in September last year with Marvin Vettori, that was one of the best displays of martial arts that you'll ever see. I mean, his skill was phenomenal. And even Marvin Vettori afterwards came up to me, like literally minutes after the fight, because I was commentating. Yeah. He came up to me backstage, because Marvin's a friend of mine as well. And I'm like, hard lines, Marvin, you'll be back type thing. And he's like, Mike, let me tell you, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Wow. I said, I couldn't do anything. He was so fast and so technical. Wow. Yeah, Robert's as good as they get. He really is.
How does he perform this weekend against Dricus du Plessis?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, he's the better guy in every way, shape and form. He's the better wrestler. He's got better jiu-jitsu. He's a better striker. He's got a better gas tank. He's got a higher fight IQ. He's got way more experience. He's a former champion. So, on paper, he wins this fight every time. He wins it with his eyes shut. He smokes it. But that's not how this sport works. And that's why we love it, because... What's up, brother? Because that's not how it works. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, one punch can change everything. And whilst Robert has all the skills, you know what I mean, he's better everywhere. And he is. Robert has these things as well, but Dricus has the intangibles.
Yes.
You know, he's got heart, he's got will, he's got desire, he's got refusal to quit. I'm not saying Robert doesn't have those things, but that's what Dricus has, and that's what brings him to the table. That's what makes him a warrior. You know, the man's 19-2, and 18 of those 19 are finishes.
Yes.
5-0 in the UFC, 4 finishes. You know, so he's doing something right. So on paper, Robert destroys him every day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think on Saturday he probably destroys him as well. But you never know. I said this line this week and I'll say it again. Bet your house on Robert Whittaker. Bet your house on Robert Whittaker. But don't come and see me when you're homeless.
Well, we certainly hope that he gets it done over the weekend. Now, Alexander Volkanovski is already regarded as the best MMA fighter that we've ever produced, but I feel like it's taken a little while for fans internationally to sort of get around him. I mean, I think the manner in which he beat Max Holloway the second time maybe drew a bit of criticism, and he was booed against Brian Ortega. He was booed against the Korean Zombie. He was booed at the corresponding event last year, this very week, as he walked out against Max Holloway. It took for him to put on that masterclass against him for the fans to come around. How pleasing is it to see him receive the respect that he's so deserved?
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, and I kind of understand. Jesus Christ, it's me. I've had one crappy beer that these guys gave to me. It looks like I'm smashed because I'm wobbling all over the bloody place.
Trying to get you pissed on the bus.
Yeah. No, look, listen, right? Australians are proud people. They love their country. Americans are probably the most patriotic people you'll ever meet. Max Holloway's an American, right? Those first 2 fights were very close. The second fight was very close. I commentated the second one, I think it was. And I said I thought Volk lost. Sure. It was close. It could have gone either way. And then afterwards at the post-fight show in Abu Dhabi, because I just said that on air, I had to be a man. I couldn't stand there and talk to Volkanovski and not repeat what I just said on TV, because he's going to go away and watch the fight and hear what I said anyway. So I repeated to him, you know, I said, with respect, I said on air that Holloway might have won. It could have gone either way, let's be honest. The reality is, though, all Americans look at it from the lens that Holloway won. Yeah. It doesn't matter, because in the third fight, Volk destroyed him. He closed him out, simple as that. He put that entire narrative, chapter, story to bed.
Yes.
Volkanovski's the better guy. He's the better guy, and he's still improving, you know. So, yeah, I think that's why they booed him. But now he's not fighting an American. Who's he fighting again?
Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, well, you know, he's a Mexican, but but whatever. You know, I think it's impossible not to like Volk.
Yeah.
He's so nice, he's so humble, he's funny, he's got a great personality. You know, his YouTube channel's amazing. His fights are incredible. He's the pound for pound #1 guy on the planet.
He's a great cook as well.
He's a great cook. I'm not sure about some of these chicken wing stuff that he does, though. With like the Doritos and the, what is it you call them, the Takis?
The Takis, hey.
My wife's Australian. She loves Takis, man.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Shit. I'm telling you right now, Takis are shit. All right?
Big call from
Volk
the count.
ever fucking puts a fucking chicken wing covered in Takis with me, I'm coming out of retirement.
No. You wouldn't have one if he put one in front of you?
No, of course I would. I'm joking. I love Volk. I'm a massive fan. I'm a massive fan.
Does he beat Yair Rodriguez this weekend?
Yeah, he does.
How?
He does. Yair Rodriguez is incredible. He's someone that's I love to watch. You know, he's so unconventional, unpredictable. You know, he never throws the same technique more than once or twice. He's super explosive. He's an incredible striker. You never count him out. Look at what he did against Josh Emmett last time out. Amazing performance. But look at what Volkanovski did with Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
Right? There's no one at featherweight that's touching Volk anytime soon. There just isn't, and that's not a disrespect to Yair Rodriguez. It's how highly in regard I hold Volkanovski. I think he's incredible. I think the talent that he has, the footwork that he has, I honestly think he's probably going to take him down and just smash him to pieces. You know, I think he beats him on the feet. I think he's quicker. I think Yair Rodriguez will have some moments of success, for sure, because he's an incredible fighter.
Yeah.
But I think Volkanovski, right now, we are living through what will go down as one of the greatest eras in mixed martial arts history. You know, we talk about John Jones, we talk about Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre. In a few years' time, we're going to be talking about Alexander Volkanovski.
That's a massive call. Do you think he beats Islam Makhachev if they do indeed rematch?
I mean, it's always hard moving up a weight class.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, that first fight, well, the last fight, the only fight, was incredibly close.
Yeah.
Islam probably got it. I know the Australians thought that he won, and rightly so, because when you're looking at it through a lens, when you favour someone, that's just how it goes. That's human emotions, human instinct. It was super close. Who knows? If they fought again, it could go down differently. But who cares? It doesn't matter. He's a featherweight champion of the world, and I think he can be a lightweight champ, you know, so... But who cares? It doesn't matter. I mean, the guy's he's the pound-for-pound number one. Simple as that. What more do you want?
And he defends his title this weekend. Just lastly, Michael, we've got a number of young Aussie contenders coming through. Who's caught your eye sort of coming up?
Well, there's one name only. That's Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah. He's a champion for sure. He's a champion.
Is he?
Yeah, he's incredible, man. Right from when I first saw him on the Contender Series, I forget who it was. It doesn't matter. He destroyed the guy, and he's destroying everybody. I think there was one fight that went to a decision, and he had he learned a bit from that. But he's got some of the best boxing I've ever seen. You know, and certainly in mixed martial arts, he's an incredible boxer. He's a great guy. He's so humble and down to earth. You know, like all the Australians. You know what I mean? You're a great race of people. You really are. I always say this every time. How we doing? I said it into the microphone, like they're listening on TV. You know, every time I say this, you know, but when you fly to America, and I hope no Americans see this. You get off a plane at customs, they will, but who cares? It's true. They're dicks, right? Because when you land in Australia, I'm talking about the customs. When you land in Australia, they're aggressive. In America.
Sure.
They're so aggressive. You know what I mean? They speak to you like you're a criminal trying to get into their country.
Right.
They shout at you, they snap at you, you know. They're not very nice. I get it, they're trying to be authoritative. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You get to Australia, they're so laid back and chill. Oh, good day, mate. Hey, yeah, it's all right. In you come. Stamp your passport, in you go. I'm like, I love this place. I love these people. I'm married to an Australian. Yeah. Great people. What was the question? Jack Della Maddalena? Yeah, he'll be welterweight champ for sure.
Well, Michael Bisping, got to thank you so much for your time on Fox Sports Australia. Thank you at home for watching. Don't forget you can order UFC 290 right here on Foxtel's main event. Enjoy the fights, and we'll see you tomorrow for the press conference.
Can we drop me off at the Vidara, please?
No worries.